folks who
Oh,
are on Amsterdam Avenue. I'd like your thoughts on whether I, as a previous user of them, need to abstain for cause.
Wait a minute, say that again, Ted?
I've had my car fixed at those places.
Okay, at the auto shop.
And I had always very good relationships with them. And I want to know whether or not I should be abstaining for cause.
Well, we're not voting on it tonight because he's not.
No, I
attending.
know that. I know. But we're going to come to it at some point.
Yeah, because it's coming from Signy's committee. Okay.
Yeah.
And they brought it to us for a vote because the man is asking for a waiver, a 10-year waiver.
Right.
His contract, he gets it every 10 years. So his is up for another 10 years. It's why they're bringing it to us.
So Ted's question is,
So your question is whether you can abstain on it or not. I don't see why you would have.
Whether I should abstain on
Right.
such a vote. Yes.
Yeah, I don't see why you should. You're on your custom. But I don't know when it's gonna come up, whether Signy is gonna bring it up next week for the general board. Then I would say then you could ask that question.
Ted, we'll take it under advisement for now, and we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Good
Thank
enough.
you.
Thank you for mentioning that.
Site Officer Danis is not here from the 2-6. So I had 2 applications from her, which she already approved. And I believe it this Twin Goat, which is LLC 1624. That's that. So like that.
we got, I have a question. We got
Go ahead.
new applications for cannabis, correct? 4?
I believe so. I sent it to you and the rest of the committee. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I didn't get a chance to even look at it because I didn't. So I guess at some point we have to just look at it. I don't know when or how to make a determination. And I don't know if it's appropriate to bring it up here, but I think you said that there were 4 new ones?
No, not from cannabis. I have, we're talking about liquor license now.
Oh,
What's the, I'll look at it.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Just want to check the dates.
So the 2 that I got from Officer Condanis, which was Tom's Restaurant, 2880 Broadway, which has been here 100 years. She already has approved those, that restaurant. Okay. The second one was the Metropolis Cafe, 1090 Amsterdam Avenue. It's not a new, it's a renewal. She approved that as well, with no issues. And I checked with the spam app, they have no issues there on either one. I have not gotten the 3O's application. Officer Stuma, I sent over 3 applications. Did you see them? I sent them to Melly.
Yeah, we have no objections to anything.
Oh, so they all okay?
Yes.
Okay, good, thank you. All right, so you want to be, you can go next because Cardenas is not here.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. For all that don't know who I am, my name is P.O. Stumer. I'm the Crime Prevention Officer here at the 30th Precinct. As everybody knows, the NYPD operates in a 28-day cycle. So as far as our index crimes for the 28-day period, we're at 0 murders versus 1 last year, 0 rapes versus 2 last year, 11 robberies versus 12, 8 felony assaults versus 12, 10 burglaries versus 9, 28 grand larcenies versus 15, and 6 grand larceny of autos versus 6 last year, for about a 10% increase in index crimes. And just to kind of break down, you know, these numbers, Obviously we're liking the trends of everything other than grand larcenies. We're seeing a big spike in grand larcenies, both in mail related theft and as well as scams that are being occurred. This time of year is really big when it comes to scams. Whether it be gift cards, utilities, um, false promises, just to kind of, give you a couple examples that we're seeing. One was an individual claiming to be from a fake church, approached somebody saying that please donate to our church. You will be blessed for life because of this. And they ended up, withdrawing about, $10,000 from the bank account. Um, Another one was someone got a phone call saying that their rent was past due. They believed them that this was from their rental company, and they also gave them about $5,000, which, I guess it was like they for part of the rent, and then they were trying to charge them late fees, So we're just really trying to, get the word out there to keep your eyes open. My word of thought is, if it sounds fishy, it's not legit. A lot of these scams, especially unfortunately, the biggest victims that we're seeing are our seniors. I've been trying to reach out to our senior homes in the area just to kind of give them education and understanding of, what's happening in the area and ways that they can do it. I've been liking to post all on our Twitter account, all the common ones we see. And just where I know we're heading into the holiday season right now, a really big one they've been seeing actually countrywide are gift card scams, where an old gift card scam was somebody using a gift card to pay somebody. So, you know, I'm the bank, and your account is closed out. And in order to pay the bank back, you have to pay us in gift cards. It sounds ridiculous, but unfortunately, a lot of people fall for it. But now these gift cards are actually going one step further, where people are stealing gift cards from stores and replacing the barcodes on the back. And they're putting a fake barcode on the back. So when they put these stolen cards back into stores, people unsuspectingly take these cards to check out, and and when the store, what happens is when you buy a gift card, the store at the time of purchase will load up whatever money you buy on it onto that card. But because there's new barcodes on it, the money's going to someone's bank account, and the physical card that you have has nothing on it. So, unfortunately, we're seeing that, especially during the holiday season, because obviously this time of year we see a very, very large influx of gift card purchases. A couple other things I want to quickly speak on. I know at some of our last meetings, illegal cannabis sales have been a huge topic, especially at the last, board meetings, whether it be from people selling on the street. It is an issue that we're seeing in West Harlem, and just in the week to date, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but just I'm trying to go off of my head right now. We've issued close to 10 summonses, made 3 arrests.
Oh.
We actually had on 141st and Broadway was a van, like a bus that people were selling from, where we took the bus that was confiscated, and knock on wood, we haven't seen them return to that corner. So they got the message that, this type of activity, blatantly selling weed, where, a perfect example, if everyone is curious, I posted a picture on our Twitter account, where people are posting signs like whiteboards where, literally blatantly cannabis for sale. It's blatant. So, our officers have been going really hard on it the last week. We plan to keep an eye. We already have a list of locations where we're keeping an eye on where they like to sell from. So therefore, they don't make it comfortable for them to come back. Another thing that I have here, as Ms. Thompson briefly brought up, our executive officer, Captain Shapiro, is unfortunately leaving us today. He has spent the last 2 years at the precinct, where, just to kind of go over some numbers, the executive officer's main responsibilities in the precinct, besides, helping out our commanding officer and the greater public safety mission, is his focus is domestic violence and traffic. That's where the executive officer is his projects. And I have in front of me our domestic violence numbers, and in every single domestic index crime category, we are down almost 22% in all our domestic violence related offenses, which is, a really good testament to the great work of his leadership, keeping our domestic violence team steaming along. I don't have our traffic numbers, but I do know we have issued a very large increase in summonses over the last 2 years. But we're obviously going to miss him. He is going to be working now in Bronx Transit. So, he'll just over the water, show we need assistance. As far as his replacement, as of now, we're getting a captain from the Upper East Side who comes to us very highly recommended. And so we're greatly looking forward. And I'm going to make sure that he's on these meetings, in January to introduce himself and talk to everybody. And as far as that's all I have for today. Anyone have any questions, concerns?
Officer Stewart,
Yes.
I sent Melly an email regarding the billets last, I believe, that there was some disturbance there, that they were open. I did not hear back. I sent her the entire email regarding that.
Yes, I saw that email. We are obviously very aware of that location. For all that don't know, Billiards and Bar, 3428 Broadway, has a long history of issues, whether it be noise, gambling, and illegal liquor sales. Our first platoon, which is officers and supervisors that cover the midnight to 8:30 a.m. shift, are very well aware of it, and they've been keeping a close eye on it. Our 311 complaints for over there haven't been as high as they used to be, but obviously they are come back in again. The location was referred to our vice squad for further investigation, and obviously we want to make sure that if anything illegal is going there, that it's dealt with promptly and swiftly.
So my question is, they're not open, but are they open? Because I'm getting two things. I thought they don't have a license.
They don't have a liquor license, but New York City law, they are allowed to operate as a billiards club without any type of formal licensing. If as long as they're not selling alcohol, they are allowed to operate there as a billiards club. But obviously we are well aware of the history of that location, and we are, keeping a very close eye on it to make sure that history isn't going to be repeated there.
Would you send me the stats, please?
Already sent.
Okay, I'll check when I go home. Anything else? That's it?
I have a question. Officer Stewart, I have a question for you, if I may. What is your current policy on scooters in the 3-0? What instructions are given to your officers when they go out on patrol?
Big thing is parked with no plates, it's an automatic confiscation. If we see it on the street, especially if it's illegally parked, like parked on the sidewalk, it's an automatic confiscation. If they see them driving on the roadways, it's really, a judgment call of, can I safely, pull this moped scooter over? I'm sure I think I had the number before. I think we have close to 15 educational institutions just in our area of the 30th precinct. So obviously comes a lot of children, a lot of people. So we really have to make sure that if we're going after moving mopeds, that we do it in a safe fashion. Most of them do pull over, especially in our area. If the moped has a license plate, is registered and insured, they're issued. If any infractions are observed, they are issued. If they don't have insurance, if they don't have registration, they also are confiscated. It's also something that's been coming down very strictly, especially from downtown, is strict enforcement and compliance with these mopeds on the streets.
Great. Any different allowances for the food delivery guys? Because I see most of them without plates and they congregate together, and that would be, not that I want to hurt anyone's living, but some of them ride very wildly in the streets.
It's
So I'm
definitely,
just concerned.
And on the sidewalk.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's definitely taken with a little extra thought, especially people who are doing it for a living. But obviously, we know the area and we know how rampant it is. So we have been, kind of giving people a little less leeway with it, because There's only so many warnings someone can get before, God forbid, the worst happens.
So the next question would be, they must be licensed?
So I'm gonna put in the chat, there's a breakdown of what requires licensing, what doesn't require licensing. It is a little complicated, I won't lie, but most of our officers at this point are very, very well aware of the certain requirements. I always say like a blanket statement, if the moped has a VIN number from the manufacturer, that's an automatic must be registered. And that's honestly one of the big things that we look for, especially when we conduct our business inspections at our moped locations, stores in the precinct, is are they selling these mopeds without VINs? Because that also can be issued a summons and a confiscation if they're selling bikes that are larger than a certain weight that don't have it on it. It's a requirement by New York State DMV that it's over a certain weight, it has to have a VIN from the manufacturer. It can't be handwritten on there. It can't be a sticker. It has to be built in from the manufacturer.
Okay, would you send that to me?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find it right now for you guys. I'll put it in the
Well,
chat,
when you get
and I'll
it,
also email it to you as well.
Yeah, email it to me, okay?
Great,
I
thank you.
appreciate it. Any other questions for Officer Stewart?
I had a comment for Officer Stumer. A couple of neighbors of mine have addressed they came to me with concerns about a smoke shop. It's next to Bus Stop Diner, I believe. The address is
136 to 137, 135 to 136.
yes, 135 to 136. I think it's 33. It's either 3357 Broadway or 3359 Broadway.
I'm aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so I guess there's a a lot of the younger youth in the area are hanging out outside of that establishment. And
but
again,
it's
they
not only there. It's not only there, Solomon. There's a Verizon there.
You want to let me out?
Next to bus, yeah, they also hang out there.
yeah, there is a I think like a cell phone reseller
Right.
there, yes, but there is a there's a smoke shop there. I think it's been there for several months now, but there's a big increase in traffic, and just a lot of young men just hanging outside of that establishment. So I haven't been in there myself, but it seems to be known in at least in the vicinity that they're selling that they're selling weed and they shouldn't be. I know that we can put complaints into 311 about it. I just didn't know if from your standpoint, if you've gotten any complaints about this particular store.
Yeah, we have received multiple complaints and multiple 311s. It was referred to sheriffs and our liaison unit over there just to hopefully schedule some type of inspection over there. I wish I could give you a date, but it's unfortunate one of those things where we submit it downtown and then we just kind of wait to see when it comes through.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
I have a question not for Officer Stumer. I know that 26 is on here, but I just want to make a comment that last night in Landmarks Preservation and Parks that we had a group that utilizes an enunciation playground quite often, a baseball group. And they just wanted to mention to the 26 that there's been some, I guess, activity out there. The kids have gotten like phones stolen and bags stolen while they're practicing. So hopefully we can.
It's the new six, but I'll give it to Cardenas, not him.
Yeah, hopefully next time we can mention
Yeah,
it.
I'll send Cardenas an email regarding that.
That's awesome, thank you.
And it's by Assumption, 133rd,
Yeah,
134th,
that one, yeah.
134th in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
133rd,
Assumption, Assumption School, yeah, I know where it is. I'll send her an email tomorrow.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Officer Stumer? None, you can say. Thanks, Officer Stumer.
My pleasure.
I'll look for your email.
Sending them
Lyle?
off right now.
Okay, Lyle, you're up.
Evening again, Lyle Blacker from DOT. I just have one quick update for you. Mayor Adams has just announced a new initiative regarding universal daylighting that will be implemented throughout the city. Daylighting is the practice of removing parking spaces closest to an intersection to increase visibility, which in turn would make approaching the intersection safer for both drivers and pedestrians. Last year, DOT improved over 1,600 intersections, including daylighting over 300 of them. And to expand our efforts even further, the mayor has just announced a new initiative to double our current rate of improvements. The city is now committed to upgrading to at least 2,000 intersections per year, with visibility improvements through daylighting to at least 1,000 of those intersections each year. At the same time, DOT is also conducting a daylighting study as required by law, and hope to use the findings of that study in order to guide our accelerated implementation moving forward. So if there are locations within the district that you feel might be beneficial and where daylight might be of use, we can evaluate that intersection to determine if daylighting or other treatments are possible in order to enhance safety. That's the only information I have at this point. I don't have a list of locations. That's, I assume, to be determined. But as information comes in regarding the new initiative, we'll pass it along to you and other community boards as it comes in. That's it for me, at least for this month. If anyone has any questions.
Lyle, would you send that to me, please?
Lyle,
Sure.
Lyle? Okay. Ted, you had a question for Lyle?
yeah, I do, because you have, for the past, I think probably 4 months, said that you would be sending us some plans for 120th Street, none of which have been forthcoming. And that's just not acceptable.
Lyle?
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try to see if I can get that information. I know that we were supposed to send some information over to the board. I'm gonna look to see. It's yeah, it's on behalf of DOT. But I'll see what information I can find out for you. I don't have any new information tonight, but I'll be in touch. I'll see what I can find out for you.
Okay, do you have my address? Email.
I have an email address. I do. So when anything comes over, I can send on.
I'm going to give it to you again, just so it doesn't get lost.
Okay, no
is
problem. One more time.
T. Kovalev, Kov like Victor,
Never gonna get it.
F like Frank, F like Frank at gmail.com.
All right. Okay. Got it. No problem. And like I said,
And let me wish you a happy set of holidays.
likewise, thank you. Thank you. And to everyone here.
April, you had a question?
Real quick, Lyle, you said if we had suggestions for daylighting, we can just email you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can send those over. I'll see if there's anything formal as far as information on the program.
Yeah, the question. Carolyn.
Yeah, Victor, hold on. Lyle, I sent you an email regarding, what do you call those, parking spaces on Riverside Drive? You know, you put them in the blocks, what do you call them, Victor?
Oh, the shared car.
The shared car.
Yes.
What happened with that?
Let me see. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Trying to see if I can find any information on my end right now. 1 second. Okay. Is that the one in regards to the list of locations within CB9?
Yes, Victor gave them to me and I sent them to you. You're on Riverside Drive 148, 149. There's two parking spaces called car share. My question was to you then that they've never been on Riverside Drive, and why are they there now? Usually they're in the blocks.
Well, I know that I know that there were some locations when the program was expanded, that were new within CB9. 1 second. You said Riverside and 148th?
49,
149.
southbound.
One second.
Alan, just a suggestion, the daylighting program, maybe they should send them to you and send them as a committee to Lyle. So he's not getting multiple requests for the same thing, the program we just spoke about.
Oh, the car share.
That can work.
The daylighting program.
Oh, yeah, that's what I asked them to send to me.
That's, no, so they send it to you rather than send it to him, so.
Yeah, send it to me, then I can send it to him. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And Carolyn, let me get back to you about the car share thing. If anything, I'll touch base with you tomorrow and we can discuss a little more if that works for you.
All right, you can call me or email. You have the
Oh.
number. Would you like me to give it to you again? I'm messing with you. You know, I know you have it. It's okay. Victor had a question for you.
Lyle, just as a follow-up, I wasn't gonna bring this up, but since we're talking about the car share, those two spaces on Riverside, the sign indicating the spaces actually takes up 3 parking spaces, right? So it's too far back and people are getting tickets in the 3rd spot, which is not a car share space. I think I sent pictures of that to you when they put the sign up, or they used the sign that was already there. It's 3 car spaces back. So the 3rd car back is not a car share space, but they're getting tickets because of the sign, the way the sign is put up. Follow me?
And that's for the same location for 149th Riverside?
Correct,
Okay,
correct. Downtown
Okay.
side, yes.
okay, so I can, all right. I'll look up on that too. All right. Okay, yeah, I can follow up with my colleagues as far as the installation of that sign, just to make sure it's in this proper location, no problem.
Okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome.
One last question. Now, remember the light pole I told you, 150 Riverside Drive?
Yes, because it's,
Now,
how,
It's
Still
never been on.
I made a request on your behalf in order for that to be checked out. One more time, I'll check with my colleagues. When we had the discussion before about it, I did put it on the radar again.
Right. Okay,
So,
like I said, it's right across the street, across from Ellis's Park, that little
Yeah.
square. But it's been out, it's still out.
And I sent them the picture and everything. I'll follow up. No worries. I'll see if I can find out for you.
Appreciate it, thank you. Are there any other questions for Lyle?
Yeah, didn't you have a question?
I have the same question, but they're gonna go to your email, the ideas for daylighting.
Yes.
Okay, actually, I thought of another one, Lyle. What about areas that are between CB9 and bordering the CBs?
And
Yeah. For the sake of our-
Yeah, any location, even though it's along the borders of the community boards, is fair game.
Fair game.
Yeah.
Yeah, those, we have conversations, we'll have conversations with CB10 about this as well, so. Everything's on the table, I would say, as far as locations, in the district and on the borders, wherever you think is necessary.
What about like inside City College?
That's, yeah. Lyle?
Like
Or
on
Carbon?
Convent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
135th.
Street, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
would work.
that might be, that's a possible location. Yeah, that you can add that to the list. We can take a look over there. That's public
Mhm.
street.
Yeah.
You said you talking about the lighting?
About the daylighting.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
daylight, yeah.
so yeah, if there are locations where you think
So
Would that
Lyle,
be
they'll send them to me and I'll send them to you.
That works for me, no problem. Thanks so much.
Okay. No problem. Are there any other questions for Lyle?
I had a question for Lyle. I think you're aware of the work that the MTA is doing at 137th Street. I think they're doing some renovation works on the subway stations, and I think they're preparing to start the installation of the elevators in the station. The MTA has taken up a good amount of space on 137th Street between Broadway and Riverside Drive. They've taken I want to say about 6 to 8 parking spots on the right-hand side of the roadway. And those parking spots initially was or the beginning of it were loading zones. Usually they were used by Dwayne Reed or by the neighboring stores. The UPS would use it a lot. So now the MTA is kind of just cordoned that off to keep their
Solomon,
supplies.
Solomon, do you remember that MTA said that they will be taking those spots because they're putting in the elevator when they were here at the meeting? So that's probably why they're not there now, because they said they were gonna be taking those kind of spaces.
Right,
And
and
stretching
so
of the elevator.
so the reason they're taking the spaces, and it seems like they're taking more than than the space allocated to them.
Gotcha.
They're also in the car share spots that is opposite where they've kind of taken the space.
Okay.
And they're also illegally parking in front of hydrants. They just kind of display their placard and their vests. And they also don't move the cars when it's alternate side of the street parking. So
I don't think they have to,
a lot of times
but
what
I'm gonna reach
happens,
out to the MTA.
yeah,
and find out.
the sweepers can't get through to clean the roadways.
Yeah, we can send an inspector out to that location just to make sure that any vehicles, any construction material that's on the ground is where it should be. If it's not, we can reach out to the vendor, let's just say, and have them essentially change so that it's corrected. Any permits that any entity has for construction ideally have to go through DOT. I would assume including this one for the elevator. So we can send an inspector out to this location just to make sure that the vehicles and construction equipment is where it should be. And if it's not, they will be notified, and they would be they'd be required to put it back as it should be in those corrected locations. But we can definitely send somebody over there to check it out. Just to make sure, are the vehicles on Broadway itself? You said between Broadway and Riverside on 137th. And you mentioned loading zone. So I assume that there are vehicles on Broadway itself, pretty much in that same space. I'm assuming opposite of the plaza, more or less, correct?
It's opposite of the plaza. Yeah,
It's across the street.
across
Yeah.
the street.
On the west side. Okay, so Broadway and Riverside. Okay, so essentially that entire stretch. We can get an inspector to check out the area. See if we can send them there in the next couple of days.
Go do it. So Lyle,
Yeah,
you're gonna reach out to MTA.
Well,
Go ahead.
what we can do is we have essentially like a quality assurance division at DOT. That essentially, if we receive any complaints or questions about the status or the makeup of a construction site, like in this example, where somebody sees that there's construction going on, but vehicles may be parked and maybe trying to take more advantage of that construction space. In some instances, well, theoretically for construction sites, only the vehicles related to that construction are supposed to be there. So any private vehicles, any aren't supposed to be in that space. Sometimes they are. We can send an inspector over there in order to make sure that like I said, everything should be as it is, And if it's not, you know, like I said, we can reach out to the appropriate offenders and essentially, you know, tell them that they need to readjust where they place their materials and their construction equipment. So we can follow up. If you want to follow up with the MTA on your end just to put this on their radar, I would suggest that too, is, you know, at least on behalf of the board. But we can send somebody over there also just to see if their permits are essentially adhering to where they should be and not trying to take advantage of any additional space.
All right, I'll reach out to MTA tomorrow and let them know that we're having a problem at
Yep.
that location. And I don't want to let them know, you can reach out as well, and I'll give them a call tomorrow to find out what they're doing.
Yeah, I'll reach out to my colleagues at DOT, and you know, if you want to reach out to MTA, you know, like I said, you can do that. You can CC me, you know, on any emails or correspondence, you know, so that way it's on our radar too. And at least, you know, we'll know that it's on your radar as well. So, but we can check on your behalf too.
All right, I will reach out to the one guy that I spoke with, Mr. Rodan from the MTA, the one that brought it to us. And let him know that we're getting a complaint about this, the cars legally parked there. And then I can send you an email after I speak with him, or and so forth. You can speak to him yourself.
Yeah, or yeah, so you can see me on any, you know, any correspondence he sends MTA, and like I said, at least it's on our radar while we do the investigation and inspection on our side.
Appreciate it.
No
Any
problem.
other questions for Lyle? None being said, Roger, you have the word.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I just had, I had